Do we do this last meeting?
No.
So I guess for the sound, we're gonna need to speak in the microphone. Huh?
Yes.
We're gonna need to turn our mics on.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Close to the microphone.
Absolutely.
No, we do have a microphone there. To pick up the computer.
We're gonna need to talk in here.
Yeah.
I always used to, when I was in school, I always used to be amazed how the teachers could talk so loud in front of classrooms.
But
Teacher.
we're all getting used to it.
There's a teacher doesn't sing there.
Yeah.
You knew.
Good luck.
The problem is when you're not in the classroom, sometimes it's still.
Are you back at working this?
Feel like, yeah.
No.
I think, but it's
Yeah.
just,
I heard the teachers took their voice
Yeah,
home
that makes
too.
sense.
I mean, I'm told that sometimes it's too loud. But it's not good. I think we're all loud, because otherwise nobody hears.
It's been over a year since we sat before here. Wow. How's work time?
Play. Good. I'm still there. Always a good sign.
Remember I told you about my friend, he works for Adobe in Fresno? Well, he went to another company. I can't remember the name of it, but it's similar to Adobe, but they're nowhere near as high, as big.
Right.
I think Adobe's the number one
Yeah.
in the industry, right?
In the creative cloud industry.
Is Carrie coming?
Which is it.
We can't start.
We can.
Yeah, you have to. Exactly.
Maybe there's something. No?
Just give me one more second. We're live. I just want to make sure that it's streaming. Great.
Good evening, everyone. We will go ahead and begin our open session board meeting at 7:01. Nice to be back in person. For those of you watching live, hopefully you're staying safe. We will go ahead and start with item 3.01, the land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the Franklin-McKinley School District and our schools are located in the Mwakma Ohlone Nation, the sovereign nation and original people of the skies, land, and waters where we learn and work. The Mwakma Ohlone people are the stewards of these lands and of the teaching and learning that comes from and responds to the needs of the land and the people who share it. May our daily lives and work, learning, teaching, and community engagement support the evolving vision of the Mwakma Ohlone for their community and these lands. Thank you. We will now go on to item 3.02, the flag salute. Superintendent Cruz, can you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now move on to item 3.03, approve, disapprove order additions to the agenda. Board members? Seeing none, we will move on to item 3.04, approve, disapprove order of the agenda. Seeing none, we will go to item 3.05, report of action taken in closed session. Superintendent Cruz?
Yes, thank you. The board approved the April 13th, 2021 closed session minutes with a vote of 3 in favor and 1 abstention by board member Tran. Also, the board took action in closed session to dismiss a yard duty member Rodriguez, House Alberta, Rosado, and Tran voted in favor of the action. There are no other actions to report.
Thank you, Superintendent Cruz. We will now move to item 4, oral communications. Members of the public may address the board on any issue within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board or agenda items. Members of the public may also address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items. In accordance with Board Bylaw 9323, individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. No action can be taken on any agenda items at this time. Questions may be referred to the administration or put on a future agenda. We'll go to item 4.01, oral communications. Superintendent Cruz, do we have any oral communications at this time? We're getting that we don't have any oral communications. At this time, we will go to item 5, consent items under 25,000. Again, members of the public may address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items in accordance with Board Bylaws 9323. Individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. Do we have any public comments on any of the consent items? Seeing none, board members, let me know if you'd like to pull any of the consent items. Otherwise, I will accept the motion.
I'll move to approve consent items 5.01 through 5.03.
Second.
Items 5.01 through 5.03 have been moved and seconded.
Yeah, because we're first.
So all those in favor of approving items 5.01 through 5.03, say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? So that motion passes 4 with 1 absent. We will now go to item 6, consent items over 25,000. Again, members of the public may address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items in accordance with Board Bylaws 9323. Individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. Board members, let me know if there's any items that you would like to pull. Otherwise, I will accept a motion. Are there any public comments?
Move to approve consent 6.01, 6.04.
Second.
Items 6.01 through 6.04 have been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to item 7, construction items. Members of the public may address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items in accordance with Board Bylaws 9323. Individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. Do we have any public comments on these items? Board members, are there any items you'd like to pull? None, I'll accept the motion.
To approve construction items 7.01 through 7.03.
Second.
Items 7.01 through 7.03 have been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That motion passes. We will move on to item 8, action items. Item 8.01, the personnel report.
Madam President, I move that the personnel report be approved as submitted, and that A, the resignation for the following employee be approved. Brian Williams, teacher Stonegate, effective 6/30/2021.
Second.
The personnel report has been moved and seconded. All those in favor of action item 8.01, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That motion passes. We'll move to item 8.02, April 13th, 2021 board meeting minutes. Our members hopefully have gotten a chance to review those minutes, and I will accept a motion when you're ready.
Move to approve item 8.02, the April 2024 meeting minutes.
Second.
Item 8.02 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, so we have 3 in favor, 1 abstention. That motion passes. We will now move on to item 8.03, the runoff ballot for CSBA Delegate Assembly. Superintendent Cruz?
Yes, the board has the opportunity to nominate one of 3 candidates as part of the runoff for delegate assembly. Attached, we have the ballot. We have Val May from this side, Andres Quintero from Alamo, and Bridget Watson from Sunnyvale.
And I just want to clarify because the copy states vote for no more than 2 candidates. Are we voting for 1 and 2?
The 2 candidates, I have read the memo, I thought it was 1, but we'll go with what, this is the actual ballot submitted by CSBA, so we will go with the 2 nominations.
Board members, any input on this item?
I'd like to move to nominate Val May and Andres Quintero. Or to vote for.
I will go ahead and second the motion. And so, any discussion?
I mean, like, even if we go with our neighboring school districts, right? Bridget Watson was to have the chance to be appointed to the last vacancy as well, just to put it out there as well.
Right.
So all 3 of the candidates actually are going to be a part of the delegate assembly.
Any other comments?
I just nominated, I moved to vote for them because they are neighboring districts, to just show that we support our neighboring districts, even though I don't know Bridget Watson, so, but I'm sure she's equally qualified. They're all qualified, so, but I just think it's just a good gesture.
And we know Eastside is our leader in terms of where our students begin.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, if there are no other comments, we'll move to the vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That motion passes. We will now go to item 8.04, resolution 2021-15, board compensation for this meeting. Superintendent Cruz?
Yes, we bring forward the resolution to approve the compensation for the missed meeting by Vice President Trent.
I do want to say that when you open up the resolution one, it says President not Salvador, so it's from January 26, 2020. So. Along with the.
Oh. Yes,
It's just, I guess the wrong attachment.
yeah. We will correct that and sign off on the correct.
I guess I thought this was from back in January.
She uploaded the wrong attachment.
So with that correction, on the attachment, which was for April 13th.
April 13th.
I just assumed it was correct, I didn't even open the attachment. So
Thank you
I'll-
for
I
catching.
just want to make sure, no, I want to make sure. That was for, we wanted to, we have to read the memos.
So I'll move to adopt resolution number 2021-15 with the corrected attachment.
Item 8.04 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
I
Any And one abstention. That motion passes. We will now move to item 8.05, resolution 2021-16, California Day of the Teacher. We have Assistant Superintendent. Or Superintendent.
Yes, we bring this forward annually, and obviously this is even more special now, knowing, the extraordinary efforts that our certificate staff have engaged in supporting the students during distance learning. And so we bring this resolution forward, designated May 12th as California Day of the Teacher. And I'll just let the board know that we are going to be allocating funds from the board budget that was unspent to the sites for them to do something smaller, safer, for all staff locally. And then we will work on a message from the board and from the management to deliver to our staff.
Any comments from the comments?
Well, I think it's appropriate to reallocate the board funds that are left over to support our teachers, because our teachers have gone through a lot as everyone else in the district. So I'm glad that thank you, Superintendent Cruz, for handling that appropriately.
Thank you.
Are you still getting interested in that one?
We are allowing them to have in-person events as is appropriate for the staff and on a voluntary basis. So they are going to be planning it at the site with their administrative staff and the classified and certificate staff in the best way that they want to do it locally. And then we will be doing similar to here for the DSC staff. So I'm giving them the latitude of planning with their staff and what they feel is the most appropriate.
I mean, with the new CDC updated guidelines, it seems like we're loosening a lot of restrictions, and particularly in California too. So I want to say it's almost time for us to at least think about in-person events for our school sites and school district. Whenever we get more formal guidelines, discuss it, make it more formal. It does come from the top down. I don't want teachers to be confused, as well as students. One with other reaching first.
Right, and so what we're doing, I'm working with Jason and making sure that we outline the guidelines that they must follow for in person. We want to make sure that everything's being done in accordance with public health guidelines and that being safe. So that's what we will be issuing that to each school site. We also want to make sure that they're inclusive of those staff members that are not comfortable for anything in person, that they're also included. And so we're trying to make sure that we allow them the flexibility to the degree that we feel it's safe enough to do so.
Great, thank you all.
And I'll just say on this particular resolution, also just grateful for everything that our teachers and educators and staff have done. And this year in particular, I know just how challenging and being trying to stay on top of all the different changes that have come up during the pandemic. So grateful that we're providing this recognition as well. So with that, any comments? Otherwise,
And if I could just piggyback a little bit on Vice President Trent, one of the things that we're looking at is as we're getting into the lower tier, right, when we get into the yellow tier, start to allow some other activities, even if they're not ours on our sites. We've been very restricted up until this point in terms of even people that want to use our facilities that are outside organizations or that they want to rent our facilities. We felt that it was important for us if we were not allowing our staff and our students to come in, that we were going to restrict some of those activities as well, just from a perception standpoint and from a safety standpoint. But we are now getting more requests about things that activities in person, and so we are looking at each one of them in terms of what does it do to our for our community. It's a vital service. And so we're trying to work with all the organizations, because I know everybody's eager to provide in-person activities, and we also want to do that, but we also want to make sure that it's in a safe
way because the virus is still very much prominent in our community. So as we get into the rest of the year and we are in the lower tiers, we look forward to having more in-person activities, but always looking at some factors on what we can and cannot do.
That sounds great, Juan. I mean, sounds like we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's good to hear. Thank you.
Other comments, I'll accept the motion on this item.
Move to approve resolution number 2021-16, California Day of the Teacher.
Item 8.05, resolution 2021-16 has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstention? That motion passes. We will now go to item 8.06, resolution 2021-17, classified school employees week 2021.
Yes, and this is our annual, resolution, just echoing what we just mentioned in terms of our certificate, and also our classified have done a tremendous job in ensuring that our students and our staff are staying safe. And so we bring this forward as the recognition of May 17th through the 21st as the classified school employees week.
Classified staff have been, really supporting our district throughout this pandemic as well, from keeping our students and families fed to, making sure that our facilities are clean, thoroughly. So we also thank our classified staff as well.
I mean, they have their own work cut out for them, right? Those kinds of class, they put school sites, and that's not hard. So, one question I do have, this is the CSA conference. Is there work for this year, or?
You know what, I don't know. I mean, that's such a big conference, and it requires travel most of the time, so I'm not sure, but I will check in with them, because that was also around the time that we would have our dinner with them, and I know we didn't do it this year either, so I will check with them.
I'm checking about that dinner too. I don't know if this thing we can do in the outdoor setting, or can we just have more. Make up for lost time.
Are they going to be allowed to have first site events as well?
So it's been our tradition here at FMSD since I got here that we include that it's an entire staff appreciation event that versus separating, certificate classified management. And I've asked also the school sites to include the choral staff as if there are staff, if they have been alongside with us in terms of supporting our community, so that they include them in the celebration and appreciation staff this month.
I want to approve item 8.06, resolution number 2021-17, classified school employees week 2021.
Second.
Item 8.06, classified school employees week has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? That motion passes. We will now go to item 8.07, reporting on delegated authority to take the necessary action to protect students and staff from the spread of coronavirus. Superintendent Cruz?
Yes, so I just want to, report that last Monday we invited staff and students back into our campuses in a greater number because we have had students and staff at schools, but not necessarily providing in-person instruction. And so on Monday, the 19th, we had students showing up to our schools. We have now about 1,000 students either getting in-person instruction by their classroom teacher or accessing distance learning through a learning pod at our schools. So we doubled the number of students that we were providing in-person support. I just will just say it felt like it was the first day of school, even though it's April 19th. It had that feeling, it had that excitement, that nervousness, and I can report that everything went well. It's going well. It's been smooth, and it's just exciting to see our students. I was at Santee checking in the kindergarten students, and for them, it was the first day of school. They hadn't been in their classroom, and they were so excited. It felt good to be able to do that, and looking forward to the opportunity to obviously bring everybody back in a safe way. Everything went well. I want to thank Calvin and all the staff. I mean, they did a tremendous job in getting us ready to be safe, to be able to even just, the few students that we're getting back, obviously it's not all, but that's, why it went so smoothly. So I want to thank everybody for their support.
We will now move to item 9, communications from the superintendent.
No other comments, just the ones that I provided. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item 10, communications from the Board of Education. Item 10.01, board member reports. And we'll start with board member Rodriguez.
Okay, well, like some of the other board members here, I did participate in a classroom student read by Ms. Loretta Halter's class at Lerone, right? And I just have to say I was very impressed with the quality of the essays that were written on the topic of stopping racism, ending racism. But I thought it was very, very well done. And I don't know how teachers do it, but I guess they mastered the sending people to rooms on Zoom and so forth. Because I didn't know what to do. All I did was click on, go to the room. So, but it was very well done. That's it.
Thank you. Want to go to Dr. Prasad? Vice President Chair?
I didn't get a chance to say this last time because I'm here, but I did attend the Franklin-McKinley ceremony, which to me I thought was very well. Great videos, great video editing, some marketing material. So actually looking forward to. So that's what I definitely wanted to hopefully attend that in person next time. So see how that feels.
I'll just share as part of my report, I did want to provide an update on the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee. We will have a more thorough update coming up at a future board meeting. But some of the areas that we are working on are defining what equity means for our district. And so we've been working with all the different stakeholders that are represented in the committee, we have administrators, parents, classified certificated staff, representatives from our student services as well as HR, business, and even a student who's part of the committee. And so we've been working on hashing out what that definition looks like specific to our district. We've also been working on coming up with a list of priorities, areas that we'll work on, that surround diversity issues of equity, inclusion, and belonging for our district. As well as coming up with a committee charter responsibilities. So these initial stakeholders are serving a 2-year term of the board appointed them to, but following that, outlining what the responsibilities and the timeline and some of the goals are for the committee itself. So the board should be getting additional updates on that as well coming up. And then I wanted to agree with board member Rodriguez. I did participate in Ms. Halter's reading, her students reading, which was blown away by the quality of essays. I mean, as someone who teaches 8th grade myself, the quality of essays that her students were able to put together during such a difficult year where you're trying to teach how to do these skills remotely. just the quality, the length and the content itself, students citing evidence, students including quotes, students referring to other texts and coming up with creative ideas. It was quite remarkable. And so that really does give me hope that, if that's what we can accomplish remotely, I'm really excited to see once we come back at the start of the next school year as well, what our students continue to do as well. With that, we will go to item 10.02, agenda item requests. Board members, are there any additional agenda item requests?
I can update if the promotions or graduations this year will be in person, virtual.
Right now, we are proceeding with a similar format that we had last year, where we are going to allow them to come in person and get their certificate, get their picture taken in front of the backdrop that we bought them with the school mascot and the district logo. Between now and then, if it's safe enough to have the family get out, because last year only the student got off and was able to do so. We feel that if we're in Orange, we may be able to have the family come with the student and take the picture together and separately. But we are not recommending for us to have the type of ceremonies that we had before, even if it's outside. There's still a lot of logistics that we would have to do if we were going to do that kind of camping. From testing, negative test prior to the event, or having your fully vaccinated card. There's a lot of logistics behind that, and so we feel that this is the best and the safest way to do it right now.
Any additional agenda items?
Are we gonna plan a facilities tour this summer, this year?
So we certainly can do a one, if by then, everybody feels safe and being able to get in the bus, or we could just drive there to the locations. We are having some major work done at various facilities, and so it'd be nice for the board to see that work and some of the work that we did last summer that we didn't get to see in person. But if we're not able to do that, at minimum, we would certainly bring a virtual tour of some of that work from that standpoint. But I think between now and August, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do it in person.
Yeah, I also think maybe some of the board members might benefit from seeing that communication hill site as well, because I don't think, has everyone seen it? If they haven't, then it might be a good idea for them to get an idea of what it looks like, and rather than seeing on a map what the power line is, not seeing it live in person.
Absolutely.
We will now go on to item 11, future business. There's nothing there at this time, so we will go to item 12, future meeting dates. We have 12.01, our next board meeting is May 11th at 7 p.m. The public may also participate virtually. We have item 12.02, May 25th. 12.03, May 27th is a special board meeting where the board will be doing a board study session around the SIPSs. That will be a remote meeting where principals and administrators will also be participating. Then we have item 12.04, the June 8th meeting, also the public may participate virtually in that. So hopefully we'll get feedback on the sound quality and everything from this meeting and continue to move forward, and we thank Sammer and team at IT for helping us put this together. We will now go to item 13, closed session, which we are not returning to closed session at this time. So we will move to item 14, adjournment. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great. Motion has been made to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right, we are official. Aye, and that motion passes. We are adjourned at 7:32.